Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson, and this is a preview of Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers in that there FA Cup. It's a replay. We did it already, and we got to do it again. Recording this before the manager's press conference, so if Ollie's come out and said, here's my team, I didn't have that information, so I can't give you my team because I haven't read that, or I can't give you what, you know what I mean? Right, so it's time to face off against Wolves again, and I think that they're always a tricky customer. I think Nuno Espirito Santo's doing an absolutely belting job that he probably doesn't get the credit for at Wolves, and I reckon a big team and a big job is coming his way pretty soon. You know, obviously they're doing bits with the involvement of George Mendes there at Wolves, supplying them all the players, because let's be honest, Wolves weren't attracting any of them players if it wasn't for the fact George Mendes is heavily invested in the project. Let's get into my starting 11 first and foremost, because I want to talk about why we've had to select some of the players that we've got to select. I'm going with David Nett, Williams, Maguire, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Fred and Matic as a pair of sixes. James Pereira, Rashford and Tony Marshall. Now, a couple of players that are obviously missing from this. Juan Mata being a major one. Performed brilliantly against Norwich. But two games in close succession like this, I think is probably too much for him. Although I would be so tempted and actually so happy if I did see him starting in this game. 2 assists, 7 accurate long balls, 90% pass accuracy. Juan Mata was bout it this weekend. Fantastic. What I will say is Matic has also shown some improvement, and again, I don't know if it's too many games in short succession for him, but as always, we're looking at such a thin team, it's easy to see why the likes of Bruno Fernandes are wanted by Manchester United. So 4 tackles, 1 interception, 86% pass accuracy for Nemanja Matic. Those two linking together, showing some experience, but it's in the midfield where I think the player to watch will be, and I'll get to him in a second. Mason Greenwood's another player that's not in this team. And I can make a massive case that Mason Greenwood is not just ready, but probably needs to start playing games for Manchester United. I've gone with Dan James, and I've gone with Andreas Pereira in the 10, but I could actually see Mason Greenwood being drafted in to play either as a number 10, because his decision-making and probably a few other things are just miles better than Andreas Pereira. And also uses a wide playmaker on the right-hand side instead of Dan James, who I think has started to just dip a little bit in form of late, just a little bit. And I think if that's happening, you've got two options. You either plough through them, or you give the guy a little bit of a break, because he's started off like an absolute rocket at United this season, and then you bring him back in once it dies down a little bit. We've got a horrendous couple of weeks coming up with, obviously, with the Liverpool game. You've got Wolves, you've got City, there's Burnley, which is going to be another tough match for us. Key player for United, I think, against Wolves tomorrow night is going to be Fred. 1.9 tackles per game, 1.3 interceptions, 88% pass accuracy, 1.3 shots per game, always from distance. Never seems to threaten anything except the crowd behind it. He did score against Wolves in the past, scored in the 1-1 in 2018. He loses possession 12.3 times a game. Now, that has to come down. That's something that in the middle of the park, and I think you all remember when he lost it against Wolves actually as well, being that sole number 6, that's cost us in the past. Not really seen that side of Fred this season. Fred's been, apart from shooting, really good decisions, really good intelligent play, comes off the pitch absolutely drenched in sweat. You can't fault the work ethic from the guy, which is why I think that he's probably going to be the key player for United in this fixture. United are going to need to try to dominate that midfield area, which is tough against Wolves, who've got a bloody good midfield. So I want to see Fred have a really good game. If he can have a real good game, if he can help us get that midfield battle won, him and Matic, if Matic has got the energy, are going to have a big part to play in this game. And really, there's not much more to say on the rest of it. You know who Wolves are. You know what they do. We played them literally like a week and a half ago. Like, it's going to be a tough ask for us, and we're going to have to dig in and do it. Questions from the legends over on Patreon, and this is what a topic. I'm glad it's the first question, because I was going to bring it up. Any hope of Gomes getting some game time? I actually think that if you was going to do any sort of rotation ahead of this game, and I think you should. I'm torn, actually, because I think you should, because we could get embarrassed at Anfield. I think you probably should look to try and have some of the fringe players given minutes in this and really have a go for it, because the morale boost, if we was... Let me just set a scene for you. Close your eyes. Are you ready for this? We signed Bruno Fernandes. We debut him at Anfield. And because he likes to shoot early and often, he fucking toe pokes one into the fucking joint at the Anfield Road end, and United win 1-0 to be the only team to beat fucking Liverpool in like a year and a half or something like that. For me, the unlikelihood of that makes it fucking worth doing. But anyway, I'm getting carried away, as usual. Any hope of Gomes getting game time? I think there is, actually. Yeah, I think off the bench and possibly even as a starter, Wolves would be the game to do it, because you're not doing it at Anfield, are you? Let's be honest. You might do it at the Etihad if you think that you're probably not going to win the game anyway, so just give minutes out to people. But I'm unsure. I think you might see him off the bench, though. Ninpo, what tactics do I think we need with our personnel to get past Wolves' combo of a high press and the low block and counter? What I would like to see from United is the ability to play out of it, because if they watch City, they know how easy it is to press United back when you've got no one who can play out from the back. Luckily, Maguire should be back, Lindelof should be back. That doesn't give you the obvious member of the back four to press. What I don't want to see the United do is go back to David De Gea. I want us to have the bravery to go into Matic, who takes it under pressure very well. I want us to see it go into Fred, who's starting to take the ball under pressure really well. And I want them two to be able to turn and move the ball forward. I would be tempted to go to a midfield three, and that's why I can almost sort of see Angel being played in there, because he can come and he can take the ball under pressure. So, you know. It's Dara says... is Greenwood winning England the Euros? I think he's got outside chance of going, to be honest. Boris the Blade, how did Timbo and Baye get on the other night? I thought Baye looked good. I thought Baye looked very close to fitness. I thought, especially in the first half, Timbo looked a bit off the pace. And a little bit not sure of his position. He certainly didn't step into the game and be like, right, we're having it. So more game time needed for Timbo. Baye, not far off. Any chance of Levitt or Garner getting some minutes, or Laird? I wouldn't have thought so. I think you're going to see them start appearing on the bench first before they start getting in, and I'm not sure an FA Cup replay at home is the place for that. Tom says, as good as Wan-Bissaka is in defence, I think going forward he's just not good enough. Does he need good competition from another right-back that's good at going forward to get the best out of him? Well, you might have that with Dalot, because Dalot's really good at going forward, and Ethan Laird's really good at both. So I think the competition is there, yeah. Niall, do I think we'll have players fit enough to beat an energetic Wolves side, considering Ollie's comments on Rashford? Rashford's been playing with a knock for a long old time. I hope he's fit, because I think we're going to struggle if we don't have him fit. Are we going back to 4-3-3 with Bruno? I'll do something about where Bruno fits in as a standalone video, but I think it should be a consideration. Will Levitt or Garner be given the nod? I wouldn't have thought so in this game. With two very tricky games, do I see a few changes? Nah, I think it's probably going to be pretty much a bog standard 11 from both of them. The only change I could see is if you get Bruno over the line early this week, then you'd expect to see him at least off the bench at Anfield, wouldn't you? Williams was top of a few defensive stats against Norwich. Is he doing better than Wan-Bissaka, or is it that Norwich attacked our left? Which side do I think Wolves will hit, and does Laird get a chance? I think he deserves a chance. I don't think he's going to get a chance just yet. I think Brandon's being targeted a little bit because he's not known as being as good defensively as Wan-Bissaka is. And there's literally no chance with Wan-Bissaka. There is a chance with Brandon because he attacks, and he gets into the box. Look how often he's in the box against Norwich. So I do think there's a chance to attack down his side. I also think he's got the desire and the ability to get back if need be. Would I rest Rashford for this game with Liverpool in mind at the weekend? The chances are, even with everybody fit, everybody playing, you're going to lose to Liverpool. And I think the FA Cup's a cup we can win, so I prioritise the FA Cup. In my opinion, what is making Wolves our bogey team, also fuck the cup and beat the Scousers. I don't know. Sometimes a team just has that knack over them, doesn't it? Like Klopp really had that knack with City. I think Nuno might just have that knack with this United team. Do we rest Williams after his performance for Norwich? For Liverpool at Anfield and witness Shaw get ripped a new one against Traore, I have no ambition to see that whatsoever. He can play both. Is the Bruno deal being announced on Late Night Live by Transfer Siegel and his pet Jesus? I'm going to give it a maybe. But this is going out tomorrow, so that was last night, so no. Or yes. Whichever one fits. Ben says, against a side that would sit deep like Wolves, would I play both Pogba and Fernandes in a midfield three with someone like McTominay and Matic behind him? I would if that was an option, but I'm pretty sure it'll happen, actually, if we sign Fernandes, and obviously that's not a done deal yet, but if we sign Fernandes, I would think by the end of the season you'll probably see him and Pogba play in the same team, but I think come August, September, you won't be seeing Paul Pogba anymore. Should Wan-Bissaka be watching Brandon going forward to get better? Maybe. And maybe they should work together in training. And if Brandon can get the tackling to the level of Wan-Bissaka's, Jesus Christ, we've got a player there. Iana says, how many kebabs has Shaw cried into since she's been told he's not first choice? I don't know if he's been told he's not first choice, although actions occasionally do speak louder than words, and we've got 10 is the response to that. So yeah, maybe 10 kebabs. How many Wolves would a Wolves chuck if a Wolves chuck could chuck Wolves? 4. When do I expect Laird and Timbo to be given minutes in the first team, and how likely Demi gets a nod when fit? Demi's an interesting one, isn't he? So what was it, the week of New Year's Eve, so it was like the 29th of December, he was back in training, so really excited to see what happens there. He's been out for a long time though, so it's probably going to be a good 5 or 6 weeks before he's even ready to play in the 23s, so let's just see. Laird and Timbo, Laird's ready now. It's whether they want to put him on the bench or not, and with the rumours of Young going, whatever's going on with Shaw, I think Laird could get the old nod, but I reckon Deleu's probably still ahead of him because obviously he was a bought player. Timbo needs a couple more games, I think. Will we see an Eric Bay bicycle kick goal first? First goal. What other shots is he having? That seems to be the only shots he has, isn't it? When will Tuanzebe get a chance? I think Tuanzebe's injured, but we don't really know what the crack is with him. So yeah. Righty, we're going to wrap it up there, but thank you guys. My prediction for the game, going to be tight, I think. Going to be real tight. I think it's going to be 1-1 going deep into the game, and we need Mason off the bench to make it 2-1. We having that? We're having that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one. Laters.